all doing this Wednesday morning, Hump Day, 3rd of February? We are one day closer to the end of the pandemic. I know we're one day closer to the end of the pandemic because everything eventually comes to an end, one way or another. So here we are, one day closer to the end of this pandemic. For some reason, last night I was thinking about foot and mouth disease, and in my memory, Ireland has had 2 serious bouts of foot and mouth disease. So this is bovine foot and mouth disease, which is highly contagious. It affects cattle, sheep, pigs, goats, and basically wipes them out. And it was starting to wipe out our agricultural industry a couple of times. But each time that happened, the island of Ireland basically just closed down. You couldn't move on or off a farm, and anywhere you went, you had to disinfect your boots, you had to disinfect the tyres of your car. There was a lot of measures in place and a lot of restriction of movement, but it worked, and our agricultural industry was saved. And I was thinking about this because I remember about this time last year, when we were starting to hear word of this pandemic, saying to family members, it'll be fine. We're a small island on the edge of Europe. We'll do what we did with foot and mouth and shut everything down, and the whole thing will blow over and we'll open up again when it's gone. But a year later, we all know that's not what happened. And you hear all the time our politicians giving reasons why certain things can't happen. And we do this all the time in our lives. If you come up against a difficult or maybe even a seemingly impossible situation, we tend to tell ourselves all the reasons it cannot change. But what I wanted to tell you today was a little question that I came across probably about 20 years ago that is really, really powerful. And that is, if there was a way, what would that be? So whatever you're facing in your life today that seems impossible, ask yourself, if there was a way to resolve this, what would it be? That question, it takes us to a different part. I think it takes us out of our heads and into our imaginations. And that's where magic really happens, is in your imagination. So there's your task for today. Get out of your head and into your imagination and just play. It is an experiment. It doesn't have to have an answer. So release yourself from the obligation to find an answer and ask yourself, if there was a way, what would it be? And it doesn't have to make sense. So if there was a way, what would it be? Maybe the way, you could start by saying the way would be, well, if I could learn to fly, if I could grow wings. So start with the ridiculous and keep asking the question, and you will be amazed at what comes up. Because there is always, always, always an answer somewhere. You just have to use your imagination, get out of your head and look for it. Have fun with that one. Remember, it's an experiment. Play. Have fun.